Today, ladies and gentlemen, is a monumental day for the cryptocurrency space. And why is it that I say that? Well, don't you worry, we're going to be talking about that in this video. And right off the bat, it's because today we are going to see on the NASDAQ the first Ethereum spot ETFs within the United States get traded. The SEC, over the past 24 hours, has approved 9 Ethereum spot ETFs. We knew this was coming technically. We're going to be covering that also. But what I want to do, I don't want to waste any time. We've also got some interesting things to talk about in regards to Bitcoin potentially being discussed as a US government reserve asset. We're going to be looking at a CNBC discussion in regards to that. But what we're going to be doing, of course, is we're going to be looking at the huge news, and we're going to be talking about the broader ramifications this has for the space as a whole. We knew it was coming. Those of you that watch the channel knew it was coming. Let's not waste any time, guys, and let's get straight into it. So this is from Brian Armstrong, somebody who I'm quite a fan of, actually, from an entrepreneurial point of view. Done very, very well. Very rich guy. Obviously saw an opportunity in a new technology and got on board with that, capitalized off that. You know, I'm a capitalist, I think, at heart. So another step forward for regulatory clarity. ETH is not a security. And you've got to think, right now, the SEC still has lawsuits against Coinbase, and it listed a number of tokens. It still has lawsuits against Binance, and it listed a number of tokens, even though they dropped the case in regards to BUSD, and they just approved Binance to hold US treasuries. This has massive ramifications for the crypto space. And we're seeing an Ethereum ETF. You're going to get the Solana one, and you're going to get many altcoins. Then you're going to get a basket of altcoins, so on and so forth. This space is about to be monetized by Wall Street, and that is going to send it to the moon, ladies and gentlemen. And all Gary Gensler ever was somebody, a puppet, if you will, who was put there to stall this industry, to allow his special interest, the people that got him in that position, to essentially position themselves ready for what's to come. When you look at involvement in the cryptocurrency space, retail isn't even here yet, ladies and gentlemen. And you can derive that from a number of things. Certainly in regards to OTC, if you look at the volume that's gone on OTC, it's blown out of the water anything that we've seen from a retail perspective. If you look at 30-day Bitcoin sort of retail interaction, i.e. people with 1,000 Bitcoin or less, I'd say 100 Bitcoin or less, or 5 Bitcoin or less is probably more retail. It's nothing. This has all been led by institutions, what we've seen so far, and that is going to continue. Even when you talk about Solana in regards to ETP inflows, at one point, up until last week, Solana had more ETP, exchange-traded product inflows, sitting at $71 million than Ethereum, which last week had $41 million in terms of inflows. The institutions are loading up. We are a combatant to the FUD and the BS, quite frankly, and the poor quality of other content creators. There's some great ones that are out there that are just news-driven. We say, look, technically this is what we're looking at. We did a video today on the UK housing market, and we're saying we're bullish. And the reasons I got for people not being bullish is, oh, well, this person said this. Look at the charts. And we didn't just look at housing ETFs. We looked at REITs. We looked at home builders. We looked at mortgage approval rates. We looked at new loans created. We looked at everything with the context of rates and where they're currently at and what that fundamentally might mean. I'm rambling on now, guys. So we've been saying this for years. And today the SEC has finally made it official. Coinbase is proud to be the trusted partner and custodial powering 8 of the 9 newly approved ETH ETFs. We've been long Coinbase since $30, $40 range, and we've got a target in the 400 range. We'll look at that again. We've looked at Coinbase and where it was potentially going as a barometer for actually saying, okay, this space is going to do well, because if it wasn't, Coinbase wouldn't be going up. And then we get news that they're going to be the custodial, so on and so forth. You need to be a technical analyst, even in a simplistic term. We're rolling out the market mastery course in the Patreon. Get in the Patreon, guys. There's no better place to be in the cryptocurrency space right now than in ALLIN Crypto's Patreon. There's a link in the description. It's about £30 a month. If you can't afford it, that's totally fine. If you can, I mean, just think about that. You know, cut out a couple of coffees a month. You know? So this is huge. This is absolutely massive. BlackRock, of course, always the opportunist. I'm not going to play this because there's some music over it. I don't want to get a copyright strike. Recently dropped a advert. Now, they basically explain Ethereum. They explain the attraction with it, that it's an application platform that removes the need for centralized entities. Of course, right? And we knew this was coming. We're going to look at ETH dominance. We're going to look at some crypto charts before we then discuss the possibility of Bitcoin becoming a bit of a reserve or a part, something that's used to reserve the United States or back the United States up. Now, on the topic of BlackRock, This is iShares Ethereum Trust. This, I believe, is trading on the pre-market, by the way. I don't know if we even have any data on this right now. We will get data today. It's here. And we knew this was coming. Why did we know this was coming? Because we are technical analysts on this channel. We use the charts to be the guiding light because we're not privy to inside information. We don't know inside information. We don't know what BlackRock knows and what they are talking about, but we can see what they're doing with their money because that's all the chart is a representation of who's doing what. And we can see when people are accumulating, like Wyckoff tried to do with the schematics, and when they're distributing, and accumulation leads to upside. We're here, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we were looking at with the UK housing market. This is ETH dominance. We knew something was coming on the back end of this. Let's take a look at ETH BTC. This is setting up for some massive upside. And also, when you couple that with BTC dominance, you're on the cusp of one of the biggest alt runs ever, ladies and gentlemen. Do not get shaken out of this. And then we've done so much work on the cryptocurrency space. Of course, we've still got those higher targets of Bitcoin, and we've been continuously zealous in regards to saying this is just a pullback in what is a broader uptrend. If you disagree, tell me why. Your arguments, unfortunately, didn't hold enough weight to sway us. If they did, we'd be flipping bearish and selling the cryptocurrencies that we hold. You want to unlock the cryptocurrencies that I hold, do become a Patreon. This is a broadening channel. This is going to lead to upside. You're looking at 151k in our opinion. That aligns with the total cryptocurrency market cap, which we do believe is going to total cryptocurrency market cap excluding Bitcoin, which we do believe is going to $3.8 trillion. If we look at others, which is everything outside of the top 10, this is going to about $2 trillion, which means everything in the top 10, excluding Bitcoin, is likely going to be worth $1.8 trillion. When it walketh, talketh, and quacketh, like a duck, ladies and gentlemen, you don't, mispronoun it, basically. This is Grayscale Digital Large Cap Fund. This is coming next. This is going to squeeze higher. This has already made 2 targets for us. This is going to see similar returns to what the others market cap is looking at. This is Bitwise. Again, walking, talking, quacking. We've got lots of work on Bitcoin miners. I'll show you one. We've got things like TeraWolf that we've shown you previously that have done well. Of course, Coinbase. Let's get ready to rumble. This is all going in the right direction. Terra, Wolf, recent great. I know a lot of patrons were on this. Look at the volume you're seeing. They're getting ready to full send, guys. And actually, the best months of the year are typically towards the end of the year. We've gone through selling May, come back in St. Lege's Day. We've had the pullbacks, just been a pullback, everything playing out perfectly. The time to bask in the sunshine is very nearly here, guys. It truly is. And you've just got to stomach that volatility with the altcoin market. The last thing, really, that I want to talk to you guys about is something that was brought up on CNBC yesterday. And it's to do with Bitcoin possibly, or the US government possibly holding Bitcoin as a reserve currency. A part of it, an adverse thing. And why might they want to do this? Well, it's because they're deliberately destroying their system to impoverish you all and bring you down to a serf class. This is the agenda. And people are going round without a clue of the great game and the great robbery that is befalling them. People sacrifice so much to go to work, to put food on the table, and to have a life. Of course. And they're slowly whittling that away. Not only is inflation high, but they're also devaluing your money, which is kind of what the inflation equation is, and they're taxing you on top of that. And we're at a stage now in the world where taxation doesn't even make sense. I don't think it really ever made sense to the degree that they have it, and we can argue about that all day long, but certainly in regards to the fact that we now run deficits, quite substantial deficits, which means the money that you give to the government literally pays off previous debt. Doesn't go on services because they borrow to keep them going. And they just continue to do that. Well, if they're just printing money out of thin air to keep everything going, why are you working for it? There's a whole equation here. I'm going to go ahead and mute my mic. We're going to listen to this discussion, and then we will conclude the video. But huge day today, guys. This is a massive step in the right direction. More ETFs will come. This has huge ramifications for the space as a whole. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already, guys. Let's go ahead and mute my mic and dive into this.
And so, yeah, he's going to speak very positively about Bitcoin here at the conference.
Do you think that these favorable comments could go so far as to indicate that he'd be open to it being a reserve currency for the U.S.?
Yeah, so there were some rumblings of that on X this week. It could be something that's very difficult to get done, but it is possible. The Justice Department holds about 200,000 units of Bitcoin. So the United States is the largest holder of Bitcoin. And so they could easily just move that over to the Department of Treasury and start right there and have 13 billion worth of Bitcoin on the balance sheet. So it is a possible move. It just could be tough to get done. But what happens is the Justice Department, in holding these units of Bitcoin, they've been a random seller in the space. And so if they move from being a random seller at times, which could push the price of Bitcoin down, over to being a long-term hodler, well, that could be really good for the space and push prices up.
Extremely interesting. The opportunity of a lifetime is here. Not only are we fundamentally going through changes in regards to economics, from a monetary point of view, monetary changes, we're going through technological changes, we're going through social changes, we're going through information changes, we're going through, I feel like Ozzy Osbourne, you know that, we're going through changes. You know, this is here. And the beautiful thing is, crypto finds itself at the convergence of it all. When you look at AI, you need to provide provenance for AI. You need to provide some sort of a restraint. One of the biggest problems that the cryptocurrency market faces right now, which is an interesting paradigm, is actually we need to sort of implement that human element back into what we've taken the human element out of, not in the form of smart contracts, but in the form of governance over these smart contracts. And this is where things like DAOs and things like this come in. It's a fascinating world to be a part of. I am truly honored to be in this seat where I currently am right now with those of you daily viewers that watch me on a daily basis. We bring these videos out for you guys every single day, and we're going to continue to do so. Bullish on ALLIncrypto, bullish on the space as a whole. Ladies and gentlemen, that is it from me. I'm wishing you all a wonderful week. It's been a triumphant Tuesday thus far, and I'll see you all in the next one. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. See you in the next.